Nice outfit. What'd you lose, a bet?
Entering the game.
So guys, this is where I got to today. I mean, obviously we want to get it to the design team as quickly as possible.
Yeah, agreed. Actually, this just came in from them.
Oh, nice.
Game on, buddy.
So here's how the timing breaks down on this one. As you can see, things get a little bit difficult.
Guys, do you mind, something's come up. Do you mind if I jump on the 9:30 call?
Sure.
Entering game.
All right. This is my picture I made at school today.
Oh, your goldfish. And what are their names?
Elisa and what's the noise? It started.
Oh, remember the plan.
Entering game.
The universe has a cosmic speed limit, the speed of light. No material object can travel faster than the speed of light. Not even you or
Pause,
the...
Lawson.
Entering game.
Out of ammo? Sorry, sweetie. Who invited you?
She's my secret weapon.
Where did you hide?
Grandma
I was
tricked
in
me
between
like
the
that.
wall and the couch. Good job. I would have won.
Anyone up for another game?
New game begins in 3, 2, 1.
So the video you just watched is a video that we at CableLabs refer to as the near future. CableLabs, we are unique. We are the innovation lab research for the global cable telecommunications industry. We focus on inventing the technologies that people and businesses will have 3 to 8 years out. What you just saw is a vision video that we created last year for the board of directors to inspire the cable industry. But beyond that, we also produced this video to inspire innovators around the world to create the services and technologies that run on broadband networks. Now, the video is a little bit self-serving for me as the CEO for CableLabs in the fact of answering the constant question that I get all the time, which is, why do we need gigabit networks? What are the kinds of products and services that we're going to see running on these gigabit networks? So what you saw in the form of the video was 4 vignettes focused on living, the daughter with her grandmother, the ability to learn, the holographic of Einstein, work, the mother being able to work from home and collaborate with team members all over the world, and then obviously the play component in the form of the game. Now this video has kind of taken on a life of its own. We didn't intend for it to become what is broadly viewed and shared as much as it has been, but it served its purpose. We're changing the conversation. Now, why am I showing this video here at this event as part of the NFV SDN world is the fact that, and I'm going to share as we walk through just a few slides, those services are dependent on what you are creating. In today's network, these kinds of next generation services are wholly dependent on an SDN NFV world to make that as a reality. So, what is it we're working on specifically around broadband speeds to kind of give you a feel for where that future is going? Today, not only here in the US, but in Europe, I was just in Australia with NBN, National Broadband Network Provider, which is the cable operators in Australia, Japan. Today, customers in many markets can offer and order today and have it installed to your homes gigabit, 1 and 2 gigabit services today. In fact, here in the United States, the entire state of Iowa now is a gigabit state. Not a gigabit city, but an entire state is offering gigabit services offered by Mediacom, one of our members. That's all based on a technology we call DOCSIS 3.1, invented at CableLabs. Recently, we announced full duplex DOCSIS, which is now symmetrical. 1 and 2 gigabits, 4 gigabits down, 4 gigabits up. And that will roll out to be 10 gigabit services to your homes and your businesses. So think about it. What would be the products and services you would want or you would want to build so that others can provide it when you're talking about 10 gigabit symmetrical services to 93% of the US homes? 93% of all US homes have cable running down the curb within reach. So the gigabit future is not some distant dream and hope. It is being built today with billions of dollars of private capital. But it's not just about speed. Speed's great. You know, people market to it. Everybody wants gigabit to their home. But speed by itself does not allow for the experiences you saw in the near future video to be a reality. Critical component for these kinds of services is low latency. To have that interactivity, what we call social VR, so the young girl having the conversation with her grandmother and the little girl being in her bedroom and the grandmother being in her apartment some distance away. How do you solve that latency problem? What we are proposing and where this group plays a critical role is in what we call near compute. Or what I sometimes refer, and it drives my team at CableLabs a little crazy, is what I call the reverse cloud. Right? Now, when I was CTO at HP, I was a big cloud proponent. Now I'm arguing for the fact that we need to take the cloud, chop it all up into small little pieces, and highly distribute that into the network. The network is no longer about being dumb pipes. It's about a very intelligent, very adaptive, very flexible edge compute. Because in the case of latency, distance is your enemy. And we've got to break that distance issues in order to deliver the next generation of products and services. Now for us, when you think about the cable infrastructure, we serve both businesses in downtown areas. We also serve residential. Now, in a typical cable infrastructure, we have head-ends, we have nodes, and then we distribute those out, and we do node splits to get to the homes served and passed. What is unique about cable and why we are focused on this edge compute is the real estate footprint that the cable industry has close to where the services get rendered. Each one of these areas, we can locate that edge compute infrastructure. Problem is as you do that, you inject a huge, just an enormous amount of complexity into the network. How do you manage all those edge compute? How do you roll out those services? How do you update those services? It's no longer about managing just an infrastructure and a couple of data centers around the country. You're literally talking about managing 10,000 or 100,000 mini data centers scattered throughout the network just within the United States, much less what gets delivered around the world. And so for us, the ability to put that compute, chop it up, slide it into this real estate that we effectively have already today, serving both businesses and consumers, becomes a challenge that we are working on at CableLabs and actually reaching out into this community and other communities for thoughts, inputs, and opportunities to collaborate. So for us, this whole challenge of delivering these kinds of services focuses on needing a couple of fundamental elements. One is coexistence. Many people in this room, if I asked you what you thought about the cable industry, you think about that black coax that comes out of your wall and plugs into your set-top box. What you may not know is the cable industry is the largest deployer of fiber optic networks in the world. Measured by strand miles, we are orders of magnitude larger in fiber footprint than any other service provider in the world. And in fact, at CableLabs, we just recently announced a new innovation that will be coming out from vendor suppliers called Coherent Optics. We recognize that the speeds that we're looking at today at 1 gigabit, 2 gigabits, 10 gigabits is not the end. But the fiber networks that we have deployed, whether it's serving cable or serving any fiber provider around the world, is constrained. Typical fiber strand is 40 gigabits typically today. We've announced Coherent Optics over that exact same fiber strand, now delivering 2 terabits with electronics on either end at 1/10 the cost of the electronics today. And we're on a path to take that to 50 terabits. So no trenching, no pulling new strands, take advantage of all the fiber infrastructure that's there and deliver literally orders of magnitude more capacity, higher speeds, broader reach. This creates, though, a challenge, because in the case of the cable industry, we use coax, we use fiber, we even use wireless to reach customers. How do you federate services across complex network architectures? The old days of fixed hardware platforms to deliver that is not scalable. Doesn't work. We can't move fast enough. And we need the automation. We need to make this so it just runs. It figures out for itself what it needs to do, where, when, in order to deliver the services the customers want. And that doesn't matter whether it's a large enterprise, small business, or Tommy trying to work on his homework at home. It just needs to work, and we need to drive to a whole different level of automation. And then the other is operational efficiency. How do we just make it work? How do we make it self-healing? How do we deal with maintenance issues? How do we deal with feature upgrades, version releases? When you're talking about tens, if not hundreds of thousands of compute nodes highly distributed into a network that's running off of coax, running off of fiber, running off of wireless, how do we stitch this all together? And then a critical piece that I spend a lot of time working on, and I just spent last week in Washington, D.C. with congressmen and senators, is around security. We've all seen the security issues. If you're a service provider, you've been experiencing it, whether it's an inbound denial of service attack or some army of botnets inside your network attacking somebody else outside your network. Security is not going to get fixed, not going to get addressed by any one company coming up with the best security product. We need to come together as industries, as companies, in some cases competitors, to get into the same room and have the conversation. Now, the one thing that I hold a lot of promise for, though, is the work that this group, the SDN NFV World, has been working on, is bringing those companies together to think about how do we do security as part of this transition to whole new kinds of architectures. In many cases in the past, products get developed, security gets slapped on, putting lipstick on the pig. Building it from ground up, thinking about the security from right from the beginning becomes absolutely critically important. So all four of these elements are absolutely critical. There's no single network architecture that's going to serve the future and deliver the kinds of services you saw in the near future video. The automation can't do it. The scale is just too much when you start thinking about edge compute to the level that we need to create platforms that create these kinds of new services. We can't hire enough staff. We have to drive operational efficiency. We have to do more, better services, more capabilities, better reach by driving efficiency in the process. And we can't leave security as a stepchild. It has to be baked in right from the beginning. So, for us, I am an optimist. For many of you who know me, and I've spent a lot of my career over the last 30 years in the innovation game thinking about the future. What is that 5 to 10 years out going to look like? I am naturally an optimist. I believe we have unbelievable opportunities coming our way with new technologies, new capabilities, new kinds of services, new kinds of experiences. Now, I'm in a unique role at CableLabs because we don't build product. We invent. We create intellectual properties. We create intellectual properties that we license to many of you royalty-free. We're not in the same kind of game of building products and trying to pitch them. We're trying to paint the future, and we need to rally around how do we work together and is in our respective roles to enable these futures for your customers, for the customers you serve and the customers you sell product to. But the future is unlimited on what we're going to be able to deliver. Now in the video, I get more requests about when can someone go play the game, right? Okay, where's the game? Can I download it? And actually, if you saw at the end of the video, you saw a URL link, the nearfuture.network. You can go out there, you can watch the video. There's a behind-the-scenes video that explains the technology behind the scenes. And also, if you do have an HTC Vive VR headset, you can download a VR version of the game that you saw. Not with full gameplay like you saw. Your clothes are not going to change colors as you run down the hall into your kitchen. But you'll get a sense for what this future is going to feel like and what is it going to, do from the standpoint of those overall capabilities. So again, I am an optimist. We have an unlimited future, but the only way this future becomes a reality is through the work you're doing. Not the work at CableLabs, but the work that this group is doing on defining what that SDN NFV future is, such that my members, the 59 largest cable operators in the world who fund my research for my team, want your products. They need your products and services to deliver the future that we're building for in the cable industry. They are investing literally tens to hundreds of billions of dollars into the network, but they need what you're building to create the services for that future. And so with that, I'd love to talk to you. We have a number of people here at CableLabs who are here at the event today, but you can also visit cablelabs.com/NFV-2017 to get more information about what I shared with you today. Thank you very much.